Hi, Phil Aston here with another episode of Chart Watch and Music Biz Chat, where I look about the breakdown between CD and vinyl sales on the UK album chart and anything else that kind of catches my eye. This is week 49, and I don't normally do the singles chart apart from this time of year, only because I find it fascinating that it kind of, the singles chart turns into one of those, the greatest Christmas albums of all time playlist. And it just looks peculiar because it's like everything that's ever been released as a Christmas single suddenly ends up being in the top 75. The same thing happened last year. And you know what I mean, those kind of, now that's what I call Christmas compilations that people buy from supermarkets. The chart looks like that. Wham! Last Christmas is number one for the fourth time. Mariah Carey is there, All I Want for Christmas. The Pogues and Kirsten McCall is at number 4. Michael Bublé, Band-Aid, Wizard, anything you can think of. Anything I pick out is going to be something you go, oh yes, Ed Sheeran, Elton John, Brenda Lee, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, The Ronettes, Sleigh Ride, Paul McCartney, Wonderful Christmas Time. However, Slade, Merry Christmas Everybody, is at number 39. What's going on? That needs to be far higher. That should be in the top 10, 5. I mean, come on, Slade fans. Get streaming. And in fact, if I scan this all the way down to the top 75 of singles, there is one Christmas track that isn't there, that should be there. It's my favourite Christmas song of all time. And it's I Believe in Father Christmas by Greg Lake. Where's that? Even Cats in Space have done an absolutely stupendous version of that. Come on. I Believe in Father Christmas. Greg Lake or Cats in Space. It should be there. Anyway, moving on to the album chart. Because we all know what's number one. Well, perhaps you don't. But it's Peter Gabriel that's gone straight to number one. And well done for him. The sales, compared with last week's, which the number one act got over 100,000 sales, primarily CD. That's available in the other episode that went out quite recently, actually. This also was driven by physical sales and primarily CD as well. So it got to number one. The sales overall were 15,645. Of that, physical sales were 13,488. 11,178 of those were on CD. And there were 2,310 vinyl albums. So CD was vastly more popular for buying the Peter Gabriel's latest album than on vinyl. There were 1,400 digital downloads and 737 streams. So it's amazing there were so many downloads, actually, because downloads overall are in steep decline. But CDs nearly 12,000 and vinyl albums just over 2,300. So this is his 17th top 75 entry and his 9th top 10 album and his 3rd number one, following Peter Gabriel 3 in 1980 and So in 1986. Now some extra stats for you. At 73 years of age, Peter Gabriel joins an ever-growing number of male solo artists to have a number one album of new material in their 70s or beyond. Tom Jones is the oldest at 80, Bob Dylan next at 79, Paul McCartney at 78, Paul Simon 74, Barry Gibb 74, Gabriel and Rod Stewart are 72, and Bruce Springsteen at 71. All have done so in the last 10 years. The only woman to have a number one album of new material, even after the age of 60, is Barbra Streisand, who was 74 when she did it. Michael Bublé's Christmas Climbing is heading back to the top of the charts again, and I know some of my viewers will be really excited to know that, because you were last year, with sales of 14,400. It's really close behind Mr. Gabriel there. Rolling Stones are still in there as well. The only other thing that I thought was interesting was that Cher released an album digitally, only digitally, feeling that no one was interested in CD or vinyl. And I think it got to number 75 and then dropped down. That's right, it got in at number 42 just on streaming alone, then dropped immediately back to 75 and then disappeared down to number 91. Well, it's now been reissued on CD and vinyl, and it's gone from number 91 to number 8, showing that physical formats will really help your album reach a different audience and have it zooming up the charts. And now these numbers, as I said before, are based on a selective number of outlets. Obviously, all of these things, Peter Gabriel's album has been sold directly in different outlets as well online. So the numbers aren't, it's not everything that gets sold. As those of you who watch my podcast with Karen Emanuel from Key Production know that far more CDs and vinyl albums are being made and sold than are being reflected in the charts. So this is just like a guide. But overall, physical music made up 21.28% of all the albums sold last week, which is great. And the only other thing I'll touch on my last chart is, because I always find this fascinating because it's so volatile, is the official record store top 20, which is based on CD, vinyl and cassette sales only. So there's no streaming in here, no downloads. So this is just the shops, the real shops selling stuff to us music fans. Number 1, Duran Duran and Pop Trash. Peter Gabriel is number 2. Status Quo, the official Archives Volume 2, which I've just got actually. I'm going to review that. That's good to see that. The Stones are still there, number 7. And the only one I will mention is at number 12, straight in, is Ride the Lightning by Metallica. So not if that's a new version on vinyl or CD, or whether it's appeared on a TV program somewhere, or it's to do with any live event that's made somebody think, Ride the Lightning, I must get a copy. You must, actually. So that's everything I've got for this week's Chart Watch. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe, ring that little bell. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Keep spinning those discs, and I shall see you very, very soon.